Between Kentucky and Tennessee lies a stretch of land unlike any other, the land between the lakes. Spanning over 170,000 acres, this national recreation area is a sanctuary for wildlife, adventure seekers, and anyone looking to reconnect with nature. But beyond its beauty, this land carries a deep history. Long before these waters existed, Native American tribes called this region home. Later, small farming communities thrived here until the 1960s, when the creation of the Kentucky and Barkley Lakes transformed the landscape forever. Towns were relocated, valleys were flooded, and what remained became the land between the lakes we explore today. Now it's a place where history and wilderness meet, where every trail, every shoreline tells a story. In this video, we'll uncover its hidden gems, explore its rich past, and show you why land between the lakes is one of the most captivating places in the country. Let's dive in. Hey everybody, welcome back to Trail Expedition. My name is Scott, and this is Land Between the Lakes. So we did arrive late last night, around 6 o'clock. We got camp set up just on the north side of Land Between the Lakes. I'm here with my buddy Josh, right there. So our first stop is actually at Homer's Garage. There's not much left to this. Really the big attraction to Homer's Garage is what I'm in right here. This is an old school bus that when they were clearing everything out, the axles are gone, the tires are gone. I guess it was going to be too big of a pain in the butt for them to get this out of here. So here it lives. This guy left this place in 1969, so this thing has been sitting here ever since. So definitely a cool stop. Tucked away in the northern reaches of Land Between the Lakes lies a curious relic of the past, a place known as Homer's Garage. Decades ago, this spot was the site of a small auto repair shop run by Homer Ray, who lived here until 1969 when the region was transformed into the recreation area it is today. Today, the only thing that remains is an abandoned school bus, stripped, weathered, quietly resting under the canopy of trees, the last echo of a community that once stood where wilderness now reigns. As we walked through this forgotten corner of Land Between the Lakes, we took a moment to imagine the life that pulsed here. The cars, the engines, the chatter at the garage, and now the quiet return to the forest and the shadows. So Josh, does this give you the magic school bus vibes from Into the Wild?
Yeah. I don't think I'd live in here though.
You can't really stand up in it.
No.
Yeah, definitely made buses a lot smaller back in the day.
Bus for ants.
All right, guys, we're going to continue on throughout LBL here, and we're going to just try to find some more places in the area. I think there's an abandoned boat. we camped right next to it. It was one of the things that we were going to check out was this old abandoned boat. And like literally we got to camp last night, set up in the dark. The next morning we went out to the water, and it's like pretty much right next to where we're camped. So we already checked that off the list. We're already here at the bus. We're also going to check out the fire lookout tower. I guess there's a couple of them. And then also the Marlar House, which is known as Hotel California. After exploring a nearby foundation, what we assumed was Homer's old garage, or maybe even his home, we made our way back to the main trail. The forest seemed to close in around us, and before long, we found ourselves on an Onyx Blue-rated trail known as Armadillo Hill, Forest Service Road 127A. The path twisted through the trees, sunlight flickering across the trail ahead. It didn't take long before the sound of the forest changed. That subtle shift that tells you something new is just around the bend. And that's when we stumbled upon our next discovery. So we found a spot that we're going down this trail, and there's all these tires laying out, and I mean, it could be people from local dumping, which there's no locals that live here anymore, but you know, people still can come in and dump stuff around here, which is sad. Oh yeah, there's an old what's that? Ford. There's broken glass. There's old foundations. Oh, there are old cars out here. Oh, this is cool. Oh, that's why there's tires here.
Happy accident, yeah.
Look at this. This tree grew up right through this grate. That's awesome. See what kind of old cars we got down here. Honestly, they're all so rusted out that probably won't be able to tell what they are, but that vehicle over there is up on its side. All right, people in the comments, any idea what this is? Josh, any guesses?
Some sort of tractor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, Chrysler.
You think so?
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. Josh was just saying that a lot of people probably don't even realize these cars are here. So we actually were here 4 years ago. We did this exact same trip 4 years ago. And we missed a lot of stuff. So that's one of the reasons why we wanted to come back. Just because there's a lot more here than what we were able to find or see. Like these cars, for example. Here's another one. What kind of vehicle do we have here? I have no idea.
Got a steering wheel.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, here we go. On the back. Mercury. It's a Mercury. So, again, if you guys have any idea what this is, let us know. Looking along here, I mean, I don't know what this is. Looks like a bed frame almost.
This is like an old dump.
Oh yeah, there's more bed frames, mattresses. I mean, maybe it was originally from the people that lived here, but maybe it could be just from people dumping stuff out here too, so it's hard to tell. So, I mean, this could have been from a structure that was here at one point. Who knows? As we made our way back to the Jeep, something caught our eye. More ruins scattered across the trail. Old stone foundations, bits of metal, and the faint outline of what might have been someone's home. Naturally, we had to check them out. What'd you find?
Well, and probably another badger. Oh.
Another foundation?
In there. With caution.
Oh yeah, I wonder how deep that is.
Well, what would Jason say?
Yeah, you guys can see the foundation through here. So the other side of the road from those cars, there's this fence here, a couple more tires, more fence. Looks like there's another foundation right over here. Every piece of weathered wood and crumbled brick seemed to whisper a story. A glimpse into the life that once thrived here before nature reclaimed it. It's moments like these that make exploring Land Between the Lakes so fascinating. You never know what piece of history is hiding just beyond the trail. Swimming pool.
You for sure get a brain amoeba in there.
Oh yeah.
There's a dead thing. A squirrel.
Oh yeah, there's frogs and stuff jumping around in there. Is that a dead squirrel over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting out of that. More foundation. There's more over there. Some more over there. There's stuff everywhere out here. So it's kind of hard to say what is left over from the people that once lived here and what's been dumped. I mean, there's glass everywhere out here. I mean, this is an old Coca-Cola bottle. I mean, it's very old though. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this is from the 60s when people still lived here. After navigating our way out of the Armadillo Hill Trail, we found ourselves rolling down Davenport Bay Trail, heading towards the bay. The forest began to thin out, and before long, we came across something that made us pause. An ominous sign that read, "Danger, road enters lake." Danger, road enters lake. Cool. At first, I thought it had to be a joke, but after checking Onyx, sure enough, the route actually continued through the lake and picked up on the other side. Now, me being me, I couldn't just turn back without knowing what was on the other side. So I eased the Jeep forward, inch by inch, testing the waters, literally, to see just how deep this adventure was about to get. Well, I'm going to put it in 4 low. If we're going to attempt it, we're at least going to be in 4 low. And we're just going to kind of crawl through it.
It just seems to be a road to nowhere, huh?
Yeah.
With pelicans or dinosaur birds.
To say I was nervous to ford this large body of water would be an understatement. The moment I rolled up to the edge, reality hit. I had no idea where the road actually went, and the murky water offered zero visibility. Every ripple looked deeper than the last.
I've pushed this Jeep through some tough trails before, but this one, man, this felt different. The unknown beneath the water surface started to mess with my head. Rocks, mud, maybe even a sudden drop-off. Still, there is only one way to find out. So I ease forward, heart pounding, second guessing every inch.
I'm so nervous.
What's happening? Why is this?
Dude, there's a sign that said the road went through. This is nuts to me.
I don't know why we're still going.
I don't know why we're going either. I mean, there is a road on the other side though, on Onyx, which is crazy to me.
I mean, you can see it going, connecting here.
Really?
On maps, yeah. We're in the middle of a lake.
Yeah. It is getting a little deep right here. Yeah, it's getting to the rock sliders. I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, it's over the rock sliders now. Alright, I don't like that.
Still incredibly bizarre.
Yeah.
Where we find ourselves.
Alright guys, sorry. We thought we can make it all the way through. We got like halfway through and the water is getting a little over the rock rails and I'm not a big fan of that. So we're just gonna back up.
I mean, you were halfway there.
Yeah.
There's that stick.
And who else not to say too that maybe it had like a really deep drop off somewhere. I mean,
can you imagine being in a boat though and just nailing that road? Oh, you don't do that every day.
We're back on solid ground.
I think it's totally probably doable, but it's just
probably
scary.
is, but it's like I don't know. Once it started getting up above the rock rails, I'm like, I don't know about this. All right, guys, I had to back up. We chickened out like halfway through. So we're at the Davenport Bay, and there's a sign back there, a big red sign that says road goes through the water, and the road does pick up on the other side of this little bay. But once the water started getting above the rock rails, just got a little too nervous. I didn't want to push it. There could be a sudden drop somewhere, and then our tires are underwater. You know, we're a long ways from home, so we got to play it smart. So we backed up. We'll find another way around. Dude, when you come back over here, look inside my tires. There's like all these shells from when we went through. That's cool. There's a whole bunch of them. So we stopped on the side of the road here. There's just a lot more foundations. So this is what we came out here to do and came out here to see. So this is another building at one time. A lot of these structures, obviously, they're just foundations. There are a couple buildings. Remember the last time we were here, we found that old church that was still intact? We should see if we can find that as well. There's also old furnaces too, from when people lived here as well, and a lot of those are still intact as well. There's a foundation there. And then behind these trees,
the amount of ruins that we stumbled upon on this trip was simply incredible. It felt like every few minutes we'd spot another old foundation tucked away in the woods. Scattered bricks, rusted metal, bits of history slowly being reclaimed by nature. Every one of them had a story to tell, but for the sake of not turning this into a video that it's an hour-long documentary, I'll be focusing on the ones that really stood out, the sites that really caught our attention and made us stop in our tracks.
This looks like an old chimney. All right, heading out to Jacob Lady Cemetery and Henry Lady Cemetery.
The same could be said for the cemeteries scattered throughout Land Between the Lakes. There are over 270 family cemeteries hidden across this vast area, and each one of them tells its own story.
So we just got to our first cemetery, and if I remember correctly, there's over 280 family cemeteries in Land Between the Lakes, so this just being one of them.
One of the more pretty ones.
Yeah, what Josh is saying, this is actually one of the ones that's more kept up.
Some are easy to reach and carefully maintained, small, peaceful plots that still see visitors today. Others are tucked deep into the woods, where you'll need a four-wheel drive vehicle just to get close. Many are forgotten, their stones leaning or sinking back into the earth, slowly being reclaimed by time. There's newer graves out here like 2009, 2000. Obviously at that time people weren't living out here, but it's probably people that lived here back in like the 1940s, 50s, and then when they passed away, you know, they wanted to be buried with some of their family that's already out here. Because I mean, this one here is 1894 to 1925, so, you know, maybe these are just the descendants of the people that one was a little baby. It's a powerful reminder that before this was a recreation area, it was a home. To families, to communities, and to generations who lived and worked on this land. 1856 on that one. 1847. I don't know, this one might take the award for the coolest. Looks like a log. Henry B. Lady, 1895 through 1919. So he was what, 24 years old? People definitely did not live very long back in the day. After leaving the Henry Lady Cemetery, we continued deeper into the woods toward the Jacob Lady Cemetery. The path grew tighter and more overgrown, the trees closing in around us as if guarding something sacred. So this one's called the Jacob Lady Cemetery, and right when you get to the end of it, there's this massive tree that's down. Obviously this cemetery is probably not as nice as the last one we went to, and that's the thing, some of these are really well preserved and other ones are like this. I mean, look at this. These things are made of pipe. Oh, you can see where the old headstones are. And a lot of these old ones, you can't even make out the names anymore. When we finally arrived, it was clear this site was even older. The gravestones weathered, names barely visible, each one carrying the weight of time. If you ever visit places like this, remember to be as respectful as possible. These aren't just markers in the woods. They're the final resting places of families who once called this land home. Jacob and Margaret and Henry Sr. and Martha. Oh man, that's the new oldest right there. 1779. Our next stop along the trail led us to the Hematite Fire Tower. Built by the Civilian Conservation Corps in the late 1930s, this 80-foot steel lookout once kept watch over these very forests. The trail here, FS 310, also called Hematite Tower Road, is rough and remote. A perfect off-grid vibe for what we're after. Alright guys, so we just got to the Hematite Fire Tower. There it is. Standing beside the rusted base and imagining the cab high above the trees, you realize how much this land has changed. From being actively managed for fire and timber to being left for wilderness. For you and me to explore. It's a quiet monument to a bygone era. Let's take a closer look.
The home that you built, the sweetness in my veins. We could survive on what remains. You were the one, we had nothing to fear. What we had should still be there. The fire we have and the flaws. I just hope.
After leaving the Hematite Fire Tower, we dove deeper into the trail system to see what was waiting for us around the next bend. The road narrowed, the trees closed in, and before long, the trail started to change. What had been a fairly smooth ride quickly turned into a rutted, muddy mess. The kind of trail that tests both driver and machine. It didn't take long to realize we'd found a section that not many people venture down. But that's the beauty of exploring places like Land Between the Lakes. The deeper you go, the more untouched it feels. And sometimes, the toughest trails lead to the most unexpected discoveries. If you've been enjoying these adventures and want to help them keep going, consider becoming a channel member. Your support helps us reach new trails, uncover forgotten history, and bring you even more epic explorations like this one. Members get exclusive behind-the-scenes updates, early video access, and trail ride opportunities. So if you love exploring off the beaten paths as much as we do, scan this QR code with your smartphone and become part of the crew that makes it all possible. Let's keep the adventure rolling together. Toward the end of this trail, we stumbled upon another cemetery. This one had one headstone that stood out from the rest, bearing the Freemason symbol. For anyone unfamiliar, the Freemasons are part of one of the world's oldest fraternal organizations. The group traces its root back to the stonemason guilds of medieval Europe, but over time, it evolved into a brotherhood focused on moral principles, charity, and community service.
So driving along, we found another really cool looking grave. This thing is massive. Garrett Gray, 1813 through 1883.
In early America, being a Freemason often meant you were active in your town's leadership or civic life. Masonic symbols, like the square and compass, represented honesty, craftsmanship, and the pursuit of knowledge. Values that many early settlers in this region lived by. Alright guys, after going through that last trail that was a green trail, we found a blue trail that'll loop us back around to the original spot that we came in at, where that fire tower is, so we're going to take that on out. Most intact structures here in Land Between the Lakes. I think they've done a lot of work to keep this thing refurbished and just updated. Last time we were here 4 years ago, it was really well intact. All right guys, here we are at the St. Stephen's Church. Hidden deep in the woods of Land Between the Lakes lies St. Stephen's Church, a little white frame building that seems almost out of place among the trees and fields. Built around 1900 by German-American settlers seeking a place to worship, the church served its community until about 1942. When the surrounding land was acquired in the 1960s and the lakes were created, most buildings were removed, flooded, or forgotten. Miraculously, St. Stephen's was overlooked and remained standing, and the only church building in the recreation area still intact. In 2000, a dedicated volunteer group undertook a restoration effort, reviving the church and preserving the history of a community long gone. So let's step inside and take a look at the warm pews, the simple altar, the light coming through the windows, and remember what it means when a community leaves behind more than just stones.
Alright guys, we saved the very best for last. We're heading out to the Marler home, otherwise known as Hotel California. It's a very relatively intact structure. It's super creepy. It was built by the Marler family, and he was actually one of the last residents to leave Land Between the Lakes. But yeah, it's full of graffiti now, and it's really very odd and eerie.
Once you turn off the main road and onto the narrow, heavily wooded trail that leads to what locals call Hotel California, something changes in the air. The deeper you go, the quieter it gets, like the woods themselves are holding their breath. As dusk starts to settle in, that uneasy feeling only grows stronger. Shadows stretch across the path, and the forest takes on an almost otherworldly tone.
Alright guys, we made it to the very last stop on our trip here in Land Between the Lakes for today. This is Hotel California, also known as the Marler home. It's one of the most intact structures still here, and it's super creepy.
Hard not to think about the stories, the legends of the Beast of the Land Between the Lakes, said to roam these woods after dark. Whether you believe it or not, this is definitely a place I wouldn't want to be once the sun goes down.
It is. I remember I saw a picture of it from like in the 1960s, and I think he had like a car and like a tractor like parked in this area here. I mean, it's just, I think people call it Hotel California because it does look like a little hotel. It looks like it would be individual like motel or hotel rooms. It's getting to be kind of evening time.
Obviously, this place wasn't a hotel in the usual sense. Records show it was once the retirement home of a riverboat captain, Grover Marler, built before the creation of the Land Between the Lakes recreation area. Constructed of concrete blocks, flat-roofed, with large windows and a design meant to last, it stood with a view of what is now the lake. Over time, as the lakes were filled and the area changed, the home was abandoned. Nature and time took over. Today, the structure is gutted and covered in graffiti, the porch sagging, the roof patched with careless ladders, the concrete walls bearing the marks of countless visitors. If you visit, tread carefully. Respect the memory of the land, acknowledge what this place was, and be aware, once the sun drops and the woods grow silent, Hotel California takes on a different character entirely.
So much graffiti. There you go. There it is. Welcome to Hotel California. Alright guys, and that's going to be a wrap on this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this trip through Land Between the Lakes. We had a lot of fun doing it. There's so much to see here, so much history. You know, we haven't even scratched the surface. We were here 4 years ago. We saw a bunch of stuff then. Some of the stuff we did repeat just because it's really cool, this being one of them. But anyway, if you guys never been to Land Between the Lakes, I highly recommend you guys come and check it out. It is an amazing place, a lot of crazy history with it. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
As the sun dipped below the treetops and the trails grew quiet, our journey through Land Between the Lakes came to an end. From forgotten ruins and hidden cemeteries to historic towers and eerie legends, this place is overflowing with stories. Some written in stone, others whispered by the wind. Every mile out here reminds you how much history and mystery still hide in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by anyone willing to take the road less traveled. If you enjoyed riding along on this expedition, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join me for more adventures just like this, uncovering history, chasing trails, and exploring the hidden corners of the world one back road at a time. Until next time, keep exploring, and I'll see you guys on the next one.